Okay, let's talk about water. Depending on your survival priorities at the time, shelter or water are pretty much the most important things you could possibly have. So water, I have some options here, and what you will not see, of course, is a really large dedicated water pump filter. I bought one of those last year, had some experience with it, and just was really not happy with it. I bought the Iodine Hiker Pro, and it just wasn't working correctly. I took it back to the store. It's got a lot of moving parts. It's expensive. The filter can wear out on it over time, so I just chose not to include that as an option. I'll show you what I do have though. I've got a 1 liter Nalgene filled with water, potable water, ready to drink. So that's the first thing. I don't need to find water. I've already got some in the kit. It adds a lot of weight, you know, like that's a kilogram or, you know, maybe 2 pounds or something. But water is important, right? So I chose to include it. Next, I have chemical disinfection. So what I have here is tincture of iodine, 2.5%, and I have the directions here. 5 to 10 drops per liter of water. Leave it to sit for 30 minutes. So that will disinfect your water from most bacteria and viruses, I believe, and it's probably going to make it taste pretty horrible, honestly, but it will work. It also works to disinfect wounds, so it's a multi-purpose item. I keep that in my first aid kit, which I'll show you later. I've got some chlorine tablets here. This is basically, you just pop one of those tablets out, you put in a liter of water, you leave it to sit for, again, 30 minutes. 30 minutes is pretty much the time you want to leave water to sit for with any sort of chemical disinfection method. Also, I think you want to increase the contact time if the water is especially cold or especially murky. You want to smell it afterwards, and it should smell faintly of chlorine. You'll know that it worked that way. Also, you should pre-filter, right? So if you're filtering out of like a pond or, you know, a river or something like that, I would use the bandana to filter out any large particulates, just little dust and things like that that are in the water, so that what you'll have at the end of the day is like a clearer water. You'll take out all the big stuff with that, then you'll filter it chemically with that, and you'll end up with something that's pretty good to drink. I also have the Life Straw here. I haven't tested this yet actually, but it's a pretty amazing thing. You can basically just stick this in any water and drink it. I mean, it won't protect you from chemicals or viruses, I believe, but it will filter out like 99.99, you know, etc. percent of like bacteria and that sort of thing. Super lightweight, and it's good for 1,000 liters. I've heard people say that it can get clogged, and the way that you unclog it is to blow out of it. We'll see. I don't know. It's an option. Super light. It's coming with for sure. Also, I have a pot here. I think it's fairly important for water to have containers. So I've got the Nalgene, of course, and I've got a pot. Each of those will hold 1 liter of water. And the pot can be used over a fire, right? So fire and heating, just boiling your water will disinfect it from all viruses and bacteria. You know, there's debate about how long to boil it for, and I guess if you're in doubt, let it boil for a couple minutes, right? But you're just going to waste fuel, and you're going to waste the water. It's going to evaporate. As far as I know, as soon as it reaches a boiling point, it's good to go. You can also pasteurize water, so leave it at a high heat, not quite boiling, for an extended period of time. So say like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or something like that. Just get it super hot. It doesn't have to boil, and that will disinfect it as well. I have my stove here, the MSR Pocket Rocket, with a fuel cartridge. The fuel will run out, of course, so that's a limited sort of resource. I more brought it for cooking than anything else, but you know, it will disinfect the water if you heat it up, right? I have some fire making tools here. The various ignition sources, lighter, matches, fire steel, and I've got a couple kinds of tinder inside there. So I've got the capability to start fires and repeatedly boil water in that container that I have with me. So that is basically my water system. I mean, I think it's really good to have options. If you're in an urban environment, you know, the chemical methods could work well, but it'll serve you well anywhere to have a variety of options, some redundancy in your system to disinfect water and make sure that you stay hydrated.